Restoring the door cards on the Enfield 8000. The car has clearly had some replacement door cards fitted because there's no pocket in this area. So I've taken them off. A little bit like on this side, partly because I needed to access the door catch. The old door card is a little bit crudely made, coming apart, and has these horrible plastic acorn trees that connect it into the door. And this is the replacement. It's actually an original spec one, come from another car that's been replaced when the interior was upgraded. But other than the hole here, which I plan to fill with some vinyl filler, the pocket itself has got nice spring. It's cleaned up quite nicely. It's just that the backboard's a little bit tired and needs replacement. First job is to take the staples out here and to take the piece of vinyl off the back, which allows you to access the point where the pocket is actually stapled in, and this is actually a separate item. Next job is to start taking off all the staples around the outside, and you can see that I have quite a collection of them already. Before taking all the staples out, I need to make sure that the elastic that goes in the pocket from one end to the other doesn't disappear inside and gets lost, because the tension on this is actually okay. So I need to take a few of these off in order to be able to get to the end of the elastic, and then I can staple the elastic into position so that when the pocket comes off, I'm not going to lose the rest of the tension out of the elastic. So you can see you use a mixture of screwdrivers, and I use a pair of wire cutters to actually pull the old staples out. And when you look inside, you can see the end of the elastic there, and I'm just going to use that now to leave a couple of staples in place so that the tension on the elastic stays in place, and then I'm going to staple with a modern new staple the end of the elastic into place. Just check it's been got. So I've got my staple in, and then I'm just going to put another staple in for good measure. Check that it's come over, and then I can take those last two staples out from the original, and then that whole pocket will pull out, and that pocket has now got the elastic stuck in it between two modern ones, can then be cleaned, and that will then be ready for reinstallation. Now all the staples are out all the way around, as well as round the door handle aperture, we have a nice pile of rusty staples that come out. The next job is to peel the various different sections back and to actually then remove the cover. Last few staples that I forgot to remove. So finally the cover can be lifted off, and that'll be reused. So we'll put that to one side. The rest is pretty much scrap. You can see the damage here. We will recover the connectors. That's the other thing that we will reuse. There's one missing, but I will recover the connectors, but they're actually the same as what you use in a Triumph Herald, so I'm not quite so worried about those. Taking these clips out, they're a little bit jammed on, having been on the plywood, on the hardboard for so long, but a small screwdriver and lifting them up slightly usually means that although we damage the holes and the backboard is completely rubbish anyway, it does at least manage to extricate the clips. 3 more to go. Cutting a new interior board for the driver's seat panel. You have to check the clips fit the door before fitting the foam to get the best fit. This damage has been done by a screw. Having coated it with glue, I'm putting a cotton backing over the back of the leather and making sure that it's nice and flat and well attached. I really want this to be very flat indeed. Next I'm going to get some ivory filler on the end of my screwdriver, which makes the hole a lot more difficult to see, certainly from a distance. Having applied the foam, the next job is to trim it so it can't be seen on the inside. So I've glued the foam on. I now need to just trim the foam so it fits inside the vinyl quite easily. I can then apply my covering, so my vinyl covering can then go over my board. So I'm using the larger staples, the 6mm ones, which will be a little bit too big for what I need, but they will staple quite nicely. Second job is to start putting the outside on the edges. I'm not going to put all the staples in till a little bit later. And then we're going to backfill. Perhaps not using as many as they did originally, but certainly making sure that it's reasonably firmly attached. So that's the door aperture, most of the surround's done. The top edge has still got to be done. Before I do that, I'm just going to staple down the inside here. Next, the pocket has already been stapled at either end, and that needs to be put in. There you go, proper pocket. So last job along this edge now is to do the top edge here. So I'm just going to flick that through, pull it nice and tight. So you can see here the aperture around the door handle has been stapled in. I'm just in the process of finishing the staples along here. It's a little bit tight on this corner, but it will pull round. We pulled the elastic through here. That needs securely stapling in, and then there's a cover piece that goes over the back of that to make it all look rather good and nice. And then we're pretty much done. Right, back to the assembly. Go, one finished board. Right, so the door card will go on. It's a little bit tight around the handle. Get that in first. I've already made the backboard fit properly to start with, so it should just be a case of attaching the pins in, pressing the bits in. There we go, all done. There we go, one genuine OEM restored Enfield door cap. Door cap's finished. So now we have completed door card. Looks so much better than the other side.